Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first video. I'm going to give you guys a look at my EDC pocket knife. This is the Ontario Rat Model 2. Blade length 3 inches. Cutting edge 2.75. Handle is 4 inches. Overall length 7 inches. It's a liner lock, and a very well made one too. Lockup on mine is about 50%. I've had this knife for several months now. Never had an issue with the stainless steel liner lock. Liner lock itself is a little difficult to reach. You gotta put in some real effort to get to it, which quite frankly is a good thing. You do not want a knife to accidentally close on your fingers. I've heard some reviewers complain that, oh, this is hard to hit. It should be hard to hit. You want a knife closing on your fingers? I sure as hell don't. So I'm glad that this liner lock is cut in such a way that it is difficult to access. Lockup, solid, secure, absolutely zero blade play, up and down, side to side, completely zero. This is an example of how a liner lock knife should be made. As far as clip positions, you have a four-way holes for mounting the clip, which is good. If you're left-handed, this knife won't be a problem for you. That liner lock also being rather stiff definitely helps with that. My particular example has the old Randall's training logo on it. Dual thumb studs. Now these are not the type of thumb studs where you place your finger on it and you just ride the thumb stud open. Oh no. As you can see, my thumb is already slipping off. And if you try to do this very quickly, you can end up with your thumb a little too close to that razor sharp cutting edge. These are the type of thumb studs where you place your thumb on it and flick. As long as you do that, no problems at all. As I said, this is the Ontario Rat Model 2. Despite the name, Ontario is actually an American company, so that's great. However, this knife, not quite sure if you can see it, made in Taiwan. However, this is a very quality knife. Cost is around $30 all day. So, with that, there are certain things you're not going to get on this knife. For example, the blade steel. Not quite sure if you can see that. That's AUS 8A, or also known as AUS 8A. Basically, it's the Japanese twin of American 440B. And AUS 8A, so many knife snobs look down their noses at it. Let me tell you something. If you ever decide to get yourself a Randall made knife, you have two options: carbon steel or stainless steel. Carbon steel for Randall made knives is going to be 01. Stainless steel is going to be 440B. That's right, the American twin sister of 8A, AUS 8, or AUS 8A. Yep. So my outlook is, if AUS 8 is good enough for Randall-made knives, yeah. I actually have a lot of experience with AUS 8. It is incredibly rust resistant compared to the more exotic stainless steels and even the not so exotic ones. Basically, I learned from experience that ATS 34 not nearly as rust resistant as AUS 8A. Yeah. So the nice thing about this blade steel is that even though it is considered a budget steel, it is very rust resistant. So if that's important to you, there you go. As far as edge holding, no, it will not hold an edge like the exotics do, but its edge holding ability is actually quite good on its own. I've had this knife, once again, for several months, daily carry. I've had to sharpen it one time. That's right, one time in several months of daily carry and use. And I was able to get the knife back to hair shaving sharp. Good luck trying to do that with those exotic steel blades. Let's face it, a lot of guys who carry those types of knives, they use them, it's time to sharpen them. What do? They send them back to the factory. They wait a few days or a few weeks. They get them back. They use them. Oh, it's dull, and they send them off. This is a knife that is never going back to the factory unless there is some sort of mechanical issue later on down the road, and I do not see that happening. This is an extremely well-made knife for something made in Taiwan. Absolutely zero blade play, up and down, side to side, zero. Lockup is tight. Absolutely tight as a drum. And when it does get dull, you can sharpen it on your own. No problem. No headaches. No having to send your knife away and wait for it to arrive back in the mail and hope the post office doesn't lose it, or that a postal thief doesn't steal it. Yeah, that actually counts for something. The handle, this is bead blasted nylon. It looks as though it would have a pretty good grip. It's a little slippery, a little smooth, but that's a good thing because this is a pocket knife that you can easily withdraw from your pocket without tearing your pocket to shreds or without having it hang up in the pocket. I mean, I do like a good, solid grip, but let's be realistic. This is something you can easily pull out of your pocket. It won't get stuck in your pocket. It won't tear up your pocket. It's not as slippery as a stainless steel handle on something like a Spyderco police model. There's good jimping on the rear spine of the blade. Not a lot of it, but just enough. It's rather deep. There's the index finger cutout on the bottom of the knife. Works very well. The grip, I have medium hands with short, somewhat stubby fingers. I wear a size large glove, but even I can get nearly all of my fingers wrapped around the handle. My pinky is about halfway on the handle, but this is a good grip. Your hand is locked in there. You don't have to worry about this slipping out of your hand. Absolutely excellent. There's also one last thing I wanted to mention. Basically, it's that the blade shape is non-symmetrical. It has a good belly to it, a good tip. It's a pocket knife, so I don't recommend doing prying with it. That's what your multi-tool is for. But check out that shape. Completely asymmetrical. A lot of jurisdictions have some really ridiculous laws on the books about how it's illegal to carry dirk or daggers. Okay, problem is that law applies even to single-edged knives. If you have a blade shape that is symmetrical, it doesn't matter if it's single-edged, it doesn't matter if there's no way to put a double edge on it. Illegal. If you're lucky, your knife will be confiscated and you'll get a fine. If not, you're going to go to jail. There are some jurisdictions that have no problem doing that. Although chances are, and I'm not an attorney, but chances are over something like that you'll be able to enter a plea deal. However, who wants to have a criminal record, right? And for some of us, that means we do lose our jobs. The nice thing about this, that is an asymmetrical blade shape. It's a good one, but it's asymmetrical. So, unless the dirk or dagger laws in your jurisdictions are horribly vague, this is going to be a good fit. In the pocket, the knife rides quite low. Yeah, the lanyard hole is a bit small, but it's a small knife. What do you expect? So it does ride quite low, but it's not going to completely disappear in your pocket. The nice thing is, if you normally wear black pants, the clip is black, the handle is black, that little white triangle, take the clip off, spray paint it, flat black spray paint, this becomes practically invisible at the top of your pocket. And you actually have enough handle material to be able to grip your knife without struggling. So if you want super deep ultra concealment, not for you. If you want something that is out of sight, out of view against a pair of black pants, and you still have room to reach for your knife without fumbling it, this is a good choice. Overall, I like it. It's a lot less expensive than my Benchmade Mini Griptilian, even though the specs are close to the same, and it's easy to sharpen. You can sharpen this at home. This is an excellent value. You are definitely getting a lot more for your $30 than what you would normally expect to get from a $30 knife. You really are. And that's pretty much all there is to say about it. I don't have a single complaint with this knife whatsoever. The only thing I can think of, I mean, it even has open pillar construction, so it's easy to clean. The only thing I can think of is I would like the handle to be just a tiny bit grippier, but that's a very minor thing. The version I bought has the polished blade, and you will get scratches on it, but it's a $30 knife. It's meant to be used. It's not a safe queen. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of my EDC pocket knife. I've been EDCing this little guy for several months now. Absolutely excellent. The Ontario Rat Model 2. Highly recommended. Have a good one.